tell us about the kiss close, because that was that'll live in the memory of Casanovian folklore. Welcome to another one of these podcasts, and today I am joined with a really amazing, inspiring, remarkable person who I had the privilege, the honor of spending a good amount of days with in Vienna, where we did a Vienna boot camp. So, for the purpose of this interview, I'm going to refer to you as Tommy Thompson, as that was the name that you requested. Sound like a boxer, which we like. So yeah, man, I'll give you the floor. Just introduce yourself to the people and any other information you want to give.
Hello, guys. I'm I'm just a guy like everybody else, I suppose, that wants to uh, reap the benefits of life and learn as many skills as possible. And one of them is so-called uh, chatting to girls, Daygame, or whatever we call them, whatever we call that. And yeah, I'm 24 years old. I live in Vienna. I'm from another country, but I know the language, and I'm I'm an aspiring programmer. And yeah, I'm looking forward to life basically. And I think me, Christian, and a lot of other the guys we that you resonate with us. I think that's our goal to expand around the horizon, because I think that's what's life about, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's always an evolution. You never want to be sitting still. You always want to be moving forward and just pushing the boundaries of what you think is possible. So yeah, just tell us about your Vienna boot camp experience, like what it was actually like to spend the 3 days with you, going around in Vienna. Like just tell us about your Vienna boot camp experience.
Oh, the boot camp itself, it was great. It was brilliant. Um, uh, Christian is great. Like he's there for you. He's your bro. He will, yeah, he'll always push you. He'll always tell you what you need to be doing. What are your mistakes? But for me, the whole boot camp itself, it's brilliant. I really enjoyed it. And the funny thing is, we could have done a lot much more, but we were just so busy. We had lots of stuff going on, and we did not have time to do like some other stuff that we may have agreed on. Like we wanted to do so much shit, but we were busy. That was abundance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. No, there was so much to get through, so we had to prioritize what was important. We were like, all right, what are we actually here for? Like, yeah, we've
yeah,
got like we've got like nighttime stuff. We could do that, but we're here for the daytime side of things, so let's do that. Then you found yourself like having dates scheduled. You were like turning down instant dates because we just had too much to get through. Well, that is abundance right there, where you're like
yeah.
girls, you were talking to girls in the day, they were like, oh, like come walk with me, like come and have this like instant date experience with me. You were like turn them down because you're like, sorry, but I've got other things that are taking priority right now. So yeah, like for you then, like what did you actually get out of our Vienna boot camp? Like what would you say were your biggest learning experiences that you can now take going forwards?
My biggest learning experience is how to be uh, just to take charge in life in different situations, and look at life through another lens, because in real life situations may change, they may swap. So I feel definitely much more confident, like going chatting up to women, because I know this shit works and I've seen the results. And what can I say, this is anything is possible. Yeah.
Tell us some stories. Like, tell us some of your like favorite moments of the Vienna boot camp. Because I've got a few that I can talk about, but there was quite a lot. There was quite a lot of memorable stories. So just give us some of your highlights.
The highlights, actually quite a lot. Uh, I mean, I love the fact that some girls are gonna be like, "Come walk with me." We
Mhm.
may have to have this instant date experience, and it might really turn out to be uh, a really romantic or sexually driven night. I love it. I love the fact, and there's the kiss clothes.
Yes, tell us about the kiss clothes because that'll live in the memory of Casanovian folklore.
Yeah, that was just me and Christian. We were actually having something to eat. We went to Spa. We brought we just ate like something like sandwiches or something. Then we wanted to make like our last approaches and let's see what happens. And we were just heading out. We were talking, and I saw this English girl, and when I approached her, we kind of talked like for a minute, but she was not having it. And I was like, okay, um, let's go back to Christian. And he sees this girl that she's posing for some pictures to be taken. And I think Christian, he seems to know what girls are interested in me. And he was like, yo, bro, that's the girl. You should talk to her. You should go for it. And I was like, okay, I'll see. And I just went straight up to her, uh, gave her the lovely compliment, and she was beaming, she was loving it. And it was kind of starting to rain. And I was like, come on, let's go over this place where we have a little bit of shelter so it doesn't rain on us. And we were talking. It was a really chilled out vibe. I was saying some stuff about me being a celebrity in my home country, and I think she really believed that. But which is true. I am quite a local celebrity in a place uh, in my country. It's just a local celebrity, but it's still something. And she seemed to like it. And I joked about her. Is she a celebrity or she's what was the other thing? Either a celebrity or maybe I
Like
forgot. What was
like a influencer.
like an influencer girl?
Yeah.
And she was just no. I'm just traveling. I'm from Argentina. I want to see Europe. I want to see Austria. I want to see the landscapes and stuff. And we were talking about for like maybe 10 minutes. And then I was like, you know, let's exchange digits and we'll, we'll talk each other. We'll see each other like later that night or tomorrow maybe. And I wanted to like hug her, to give her a hug. And she was like, really? A hug? Why don't you kiss me? And I was like, okay. And I leaned in for the kiss, but she just took me, bro. And she like, yeah, she kissed me, and it was actually a really passionate kiss. Like,
Mm.
it's a
Yeah.
girl. She's one of those girls that she knows how to turn a guy on. She knew how to turn me on.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was just such a beautiful moment to witness. I think it's like for me anyway, I wish that that had been recorded. Do you know what I'm saying? To just like
You made some photos. You made some photos
yeah,
or something.
to be fair, yeah, we've got some we've got the receipts. But like I think for me that was just one of those moments where it just highlights what's possible. And to like all the guys who will always criticize this because they've not got the balls to do it themselves, being like, it's fake, they're all actresses, this doesn't work. It was just like a two middle finger salute to that, like this is possible and what we're doing, being able to create opportunities for yourself that wouldn't have otherwise been in your reality. That moment to me just, don't know, just sort of made it all worthwhile, and just highlighted to me like, wow, this stuff is really crazy. Any other like highlights that you want to speak about from our time together?
Another highlights I may think about is there was I found it really interesting that the second day, like my first ever approach at the train station, this lady, she was like, okay, give your number, we'll keep in detail, keep in touch. And I, because usually when guys are doing like day game or stuff, they think, oh, the first one's the worst one. I have to get to the first, second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and then I may actually get even a smile, or maybe even like, oh, but that's so sweet. But no, if the vibe is there, if you're feeling high value, if you're feeling like the man, it's gonna be really easy for you. It's gonna be really, girls will feel that, they'll love your vibe, and they'll feel just comfortable about around you. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I really like what you said there when you said when you go out and you feel high value,
yeah,
it's so true. Like, because people will often talk about like inner game and how people will say it's a little bit abstract or whatever, but really the way you feel about yourself within, it radiates, and people will treat you how you believe you deserve to be treated. And because we'd had such a solid day on the Friday, we'd got so much momentum in place, we'd had so many conversations, you broke through so many sticking points, you learned so much on that first day. Then as soon as it came to the second day, you were just able to pick up where you left off. You had that momentum to carry over, and you were just feeling great about yourself from the first day as well. So I think
yeah,
really, really practical to guys having life momentum, like just having these hits of accomplishment throughout your life. So whether you just go to the gym, do a few cold approach conversations, eat well, sleep well, train well, like think highly of yourself, dress well, all of these things, they add up and they allow you to feel like that high value man. And as soon as you see that girl who you really do like, it's like you're already carrying over all of that momentum, and she becomes intoxicated off your vibe. That's what happened on that second day. The other thing as well with the girl on the final day, you know, the traveler girl who you met up for on the date on, I think it was
oh, the
on
Scandinavian
yeah,
cheerleader.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Scandinavian cheerleader. Tell us about that conversation, because that was a highlight of mine as well.
Oh, so we were at basically like the center of Vienna, and we just saw me and Christian. We saw this girl with a backpack, and he gave me a little insight. Um, this is a girl that she might be traveling, and I went up to her and asked her what she's doing, and it turned out to be true. She was interrailing. Yeah, she was interrailing, and the conversation itself, it's really short, and but I felt so much like sexual tension between us because I got so close to her, and she seemed to like play with her hair, and does this thing with her lips and stuff, and I wasn't even fucking around. I was like, you know what, give me like your number or your Instagram, and I'll I'll send you a text later, and we may do something fun, like go to a pub, have a beer. She wanted to go for beers, yeah, which turned out to be a really nice date, yeah. And that was Scandinavian cheerleader,
Yeah,
and there was
so you ended up meeting up with her on the same day, which was great. And I remember she actually invited you out for the beer as well, like because we were like in that like fish restaurant, like
yeah,
basically
yeah,
texting her. I was being like, right, text her this, do this, and then it all transpired. And then she ended up inviting you out for the date, which was an amazing day. And you were going to say something then as well about the next highlight.
On the next side was this girl that I have matched with her on Tinder like in April, and I saw her on the street and I went up to her and she was loving it. She was like, "Oh, you're from this country. Oh, I love it. You you look like this and whatnot." And but she was going to Istanbul, and to be honest, she seemed like a really keen girl. Like if she was staying, we things might have happened between us. Yeah.
Yeah, the vibe in that conversation was on point, and that was another really eye-opening moment because, like you say, this is a girl who you had previously matched with on Tinder, and then you actually met her in real life, and the difference between the vibe you can cultivate in person compared to on a screen is crazy. Like you can't
It's
even
really crazy. It's ridiculous. It's stupid, bro. It's just
right. You can't even
it,
compare the two, right? And
no, 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 no.
by the end of our 3 days, you were a completely different man. Like, and I know you felt that as well. Like you're a completely transformed individual. And there's something actually where you were speaking about the Scandinavian cheerleader, how you were stood very close to her. That's something that we pinpointed over our weekend where I was explaining to you that you can get quite close to girls who you're speaking with because if they don't like the proximity, they will just take a step back. But
Yeah,
like what we really noticed was the closer you can get to a girl, obviously still provide her with enough like personal space, like it just use your common sense. But when you can get closer than you usually would to a girl, you can create such a more seductive vibe. And also you'll find your flake rate will reduce because the girl now perceives you as a sexual option rather than just a platonic figure in her life. So guys, listen to this, just practice getting a little bit closer to the girls that you're speaking with, because that made a big difference for your conversation.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still use your common sense, like
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like something as well is like where you start in a conversation, it's not where you have to finish. So just if you are at the start of the conversation, if you are quite like a distance apart, you don't have to stay like that. You can shuffle in a little bit closer, so then you can get closer to the girl. You don't have to stay where you begin, you know? So good, yeah. So for you then, after our 3 days have been complete, so after the 3 days are complete, for those who don't know, we then transition to a full 4 week aftercare program. So I can check in with you on a weekly basis to make sure you're maintaining your momentum. But for you, like, how are you now feeling about the future compared to before we did our boot camps together?
the number one thing is understanding that um day game is just a thing. It can be a really simple and casual thing that you can do. You don't have to go like fucking 8 hours and do this because you're a guy, you have shit to do, you have to go to work, you have to think about the future, maybe think about your business, think about maybe your studies and stuff. And I love how you pinpointing the stuff that's actually needed to be successful at this. And you don't need to be going for like who knows 12 hours a day like they did back in 10 years ago or something. And I feel much more confident, I feel much more at ease, and I feel like renaissance man. Yeah, some of you guys may not understand this, but if you've been following Kristian and his content, you understand it. It's it's all about it's all about being a man of your own. Yeah.
100%. Like I say to people all the time, like this stuff really does go deeper than day game, and people will find this content online and they'll just think, oh, it's just about picking up girls. It's all about lines, tricks, and technique, which for some people it is. But for you, like, what does, let's just call it, what does day game actually mean to you? Like, what does it mean to you?
For me, Daygame, it's a really free flowing and uh, easygoing experience. Like, I don't think, for me, Daygame, it's about delivering your value to the opposite sex, basically.
Mm,
And it's about, like you said, putting out invitations. And if girls are keen, if they like you, if they're loving you, they'll be up for it. And um, day game is a really, it's like a leap of faith, don't you think? When you do it, it's,
mm,
and after you get in the momentum,
mm,
you feel uh, you feel like on top of the world.
mm.
And after the
Yeah,
positive experiences,
yeah,
you'll feel like you lived life fully.
yeah,
And
yeah.
combine that with like going to swim, like going
Mm.
to the gym and doing other stuff. Like you can do so much stuff in one day. Like fuck sleep. You know what I mean? No, no, I'm just kidding. Like you guys have to sleep. It's important. I had this is the mistake of myself. Like sometimes I underestimate sleep, but it's really important. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
You,
definitely.
you can, yeah,
Um,
just implement it in your life and uh, make this like a part of you, not something that you have to do. Or
yeah, like I've always equated day game with freedom. You know,
definitely,
I
yeah.
always like to use the mantra freedom from bullshit because I think when you do start to bypass boundaries which you've created in your own mind, where you can actually go out and live life on your terms, put invitations out into the world. You want people, but you don't need them. You're going on a journey. You're finding fulfillment in many things. Like you say, it wasn't just about day game over the weekend. It was about getting to know each other, going swimming in lakes, chatting about life.
The lake,
The lake,
that
man, the lake,
lake.
that lake. If people follow me on Instagram, you will be able to see the stories that I was posting. But that lake was probably one of my highlights of the weekend. Like
Really,
being yeah,
I know.
because like being from the Lake District, I appreciate the outdoors. But like when we were talking earlier about like having life momentum, like this is what I'm talking about. Like you say, like went for a swim, went to the gym, talked to a few girls, came back, had like a chill session, and you went out on a day. It's like you say, you can do so much in a day, and hopefully this weekend that we spent together really give you a taste of how life should be lived.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really would be interested to talk about is just like a little bit more about you, like your backstory, like why you decide to get into this stuff in the first place, and just some more stuff so the guys can actually get to know you on a level.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, anything that you deem to be relevant, so guys could maybe resonate with you. Yeah, just talk to us about you, man.
Well, about me, I I was born actually. I'm from a so-called a Balkan country. Fuck it. I'll just say I'm from Bulgaria, and I was born in a middle class family, and uh, I was born in I think the eighth most populous town over there, and life was good. Like when I was growing up, the first stages of my life they were really good. Everything was fine, but I had I had like back problems because I turned out to be a really tall person, and I was staying on a computer like like I was doing all kinds of different poses, like on the computer, like when you when you lean your head to your arm, and that gave me scoliosis, and that made me a little bit insecure, but still not that much. And I, growing up, like, mm, my father passed away. I, I, what can I say? I needed guidance at those crucial years of my life. Yeah, and then I started to hang out with bad groups, and it was just like a downward spiral or something. That's how I would say it. But I still had some great moments. I've been to different places. Like, they took me to different places. I met some new people. Had a job that was um, that helped me deliver my social skills. I used to be a beach keeper on King's Beach, and yeah, everybody knows me there.
You
And
you were telling me an interesting story. I think I might be wrong, but I think it was it your uncle who was basically doing Daygame, but like he didn't have a clue what the concept was, but he was
yeah,
like
yeah,
a proper natural.
he was a natural
Yeah.
because it's just my father was this really tall, big guy. He was really buff. He was really handsome. And my uncle, he was just like, when they go to clubs, he's like this guy that, yeah, he always wants to steal somebody's girl or do some crazy shit. And if some guys are pissing about and they want to fight him, he's gonna, oh, but do you know who my big brother is? He's that sort of type of guy, my uncle. And yeah, I mean, the '90s, they were wild, bro. They were wild. It's just like, um, I think back in the days things were more casual, more chilled out. Uh, Now it's still the same, but it's kind of different, I think.
Yeah,
And
actually, speaking of how things have changed, what was really interesting in our boot camp experience was by me coming to Vienna, how the city almost came back to life for you. Because
yeah,
before I came to Vienna, like you were saying, how the city didn't really feel the same as it used to, but
yes,
after me being there, it's almost like you could see the city through my eyes. I'm saying to guys right now, like Vienna is one of the best cities in regards to meeting girls during the day, the opportunities that it affords, the receptivity of girls,
the
the
quality.
the quality of the women
Mhm.
that you're going to be speaking to, because you've got women from all over the world. It's a multicultural mixing pot. So whatever you're into, you'll definitely be able to find it in Vienna. But how important was that to you to have that experience where the city came back to life for you over the weekend?
Yeah, before we actually met in person, I thought that the girls in Vienna are more like, um they would they watch too many movies or something, and they think that they will meet a specific guy at a bar or maybe at the gym, but not just a guy on the street. And I mean, when I first came to Vienna, my first year was actually pretty good. And I actually met with a couple of girls, had a girlfriend. I had her for like over a year. And then, yeah, call me an asshole or whatever. But I was like, you know what, baby? Because she wanted to maybe move in to another place with me. And then a friend of mine, he told me he's going to be a father. And he's like 23. And I'm like 23. And that just something hit me in the head. I was like, bro, I feel like I'm still too young for this shit. You know what I mean? And I told her, look, baby, I just wanna have some time for myself. I wanna live life a little bit more. And to be honest, like, I don't think I'm the guy for you, like, long term. And she did not like it at all. But we still talk to each other. We still communicate. Yeah. And afterwards, I tried doing day game and stuff. And maybe it's because I had a mini depression. and I have been following some old content, and I have seen the receptivity of the girls. It was not really that good. I mean, I still had dates, still met amazing girls. There was actually one girl that was like, we just looked each other in the eye, and she was like, "Why don't we go back to my place, smoke some weed, and have sex?" And I was like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
The Georgian girl.
The girl from Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I felt a little bit, I felt like, fuck me, Daygame is dead. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I reached out to Kristian, and that guy, he was there for me. Like, he inspired me to continue. And I've watched some more of his content, and I got even more inspired. And I just said, yo, fuck it, Kristian, come here. I want you to go to Vienna, and I want you to teach me how to do this properly, because I know I'm fucking up. Like, there's no way. Like, I don't think it's because of the girls. I think it's because I am doing something wrong.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were able to overcome your sticking points very quickly. You know, as soon
Yeah.
as I was there watching your conversation, very quickly it became apparent to me after doing this for so long what was going wrong. We got rid of the bad habits very quickly, and then we could just enjoy ourselves for the rest of the weekend and build on what we'd learned. So, yeah, it was beautiful for me to come to the city as well and allow the city to come back to life for you because yeah,
It did.
I think that was probably my greatest gift to you, was just saying to you, you've got an incredible city here. Your playground is fantastic. And yeah, it was just amazing how the city was able to come back to life for you with me being there. And the final thing that I want to ask you really is, what would you say to guys who are listening to our conversation? They want to get involved in the things that we've been discussing, but they've got things that are holding them back. Maybe they feel really socially anxious. Maybe they have self-limiting beliefs. Maybe they think, oh, day game doesn't work, so why bother trying? Like, for you, as someone who has seen what it's like to live this lifestyle, like, what advice would you give to guys who are listening to this but are too scared to pull the trigger and try?
I would just say, guys, you have to go for it. Like, you have to love yourself. Like, you have to, like, when you wake up, I would advise, doesn't matter how much ridiculous this sounds, but this is my advice for any guy out there who doesn't feel maybe not worthy, or maybe he feels like, oh, this won't work on me. Just look at yourself in the mirror when you wake up after you brush your teeth or something, and just say something like, oh, who's this sexy mofo? Who's that beautiful, handsome man? Like, you have to remember, guys, that every day you wake up, you have to remember that you are you. There's nobody else like you. Like, you're just an individual. You just have to do something for yourself that will lead to success, and implement the right stuff, um, which you can learn from Kristian.
I like the fact that you're talking about worthiness, because I think when we boil it all down to its essence, you know, because you've got like all of the different like red pill, blue pill, black pill communities, all this stuff, all the self-help and stuff, like it really all boils down to the fact that men just don't believe that they're good enough. But that's what it all boils down to. It's why you're scared to do new things. It's why you're scared to put yourself out there. It's why you're scared to try. It's because at some level, you don't believe you're good enough. And I think every man, no matter who they are, we all battle with that perceived lack of self-worth. But I think when you do things that scare you, such as day games, such as high adrenaline activities like skydiving, or even just doing some hill sprints for the first time, or even just asking a cashier where the fitting rooms are in a clothes shop, I think if you can make a habit out of doing things that scare you on a daily basis, you start to build that momentum. You start to develop belief in your own capabilities. And I think when you're referring to loving yourself, honestly, it all does start from there. Like if you rate yourself as an individual, if you genuinely believe that you are the greatest thing on this earth, great things will happen to you. Like you will attract what you believe into your life. Yeah, it's easier said than done, but look, very practical. Do things that scare you on a daily basis, and you'll start to feel better about your life day by day. So yeah, I'm happy you brought that up. Like I think that that worthiness complex is something that everyone battles with. But I think doing Daygame, it really puts a mirror up to yourself, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not as good. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe some things do need to change. Maybe I don't like myself enough.
You'll get a surprise, but
Mm.
because a lot of people, they think that they're in this bubble, and I would just say there's no bubble.
Mm.
There is no bubble. You just, it's, yeah, you have to go out of your comfort zone and experience with new things, new people. And my advice, another advice I'll add, like I would stay away from these pills because people do love to be in groups, don't they? And I'll just say that why would you want to be in a group like that's about some guys that are like talking about life and how women is like, to me, I don't think you need that. Like you as a man, it's called like free thinking. Like why would you need a group? Like, so I took the red pill, so I took the black pill. It's like, what does that mean? You're just thinking for yourself, or what does that mean? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really understand. It's just like, I think that's what every man should do. You know what I mean? Every man should do. You don't have to be in groups, guys. You just have to, I don't know how to say it, but I think you understand what I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. I think, like you say, guys like that sense of belonging. They like to be able to identify with other men who share their experiences, because it's quite a comforting experience to know that other people are like you. But it's so easy to get sucked into those circles of people, and all you know is just the internet and forums, and you're never really getting outside and actually experiencing life firsthand. So I guarantee to any guys who are like really sucked into those circles, the red pill, the black pill, whatever, just spend a week away from the computer, get outside, talk to people, focus on doing things that you actually enjoy as a person.
Like
just
go to nature.
100%. Spend time in nature like we did. Go to the lake, go for a walk, spend time with your family. Do you know what I mean? Tell people you love them. Like it doesn't have to be so deep that it's like, oh, this is all it is now. It's just all about the black pill, you know?
Here in Austria, there are lots of mountains, and the nature is quite beautiful. In Bulgaria too. Like you can just go to the mountain and hike, and people at the mountain where you'll see passers by. It's like a culture. If you don't say hi to a person that you're hiking to, you're like really rude. That's really rude. And you can make some great friendships with other hikers and stuff, because people in mountains, in the nature, they are like really pure people. That's how I say it. That's just my opinion. And
I mean, I'm in the Lake District at the moment, and having nature on your doorstep, being surrounded by nature, just seeing some greenery. Like I know if you're in a busy city like London and you've got a job, then it can be more difficult. But just allocating some time to just do things you enjoy doing, going to some park, spending time with friends, not just being all consumed by the internet, by day game theory, by like red pill theory. Just understand there's a world beyond the screen. And I think more men would benefit by just shutting down the laptop, getting outside and just trying things for themselves. It doesn't matter if you mess up. It doesn't matter if you're not good at it to start with. Just try, because the achievement is in the attempt and the success is in the showing up. So you had a comment that you wanted to make, I think. Do you want to make said comment now?
I already did it.
Oh, you already made the comment. Beautiful. That makes life easier.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So yeah, I mean, in conclusion, then, like, do you have anything else that you would like to say to the guys who are listening? about your experience in Vienna, your experiences elsewhere doing this, like anything else that you want to add before we say au revoir.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, a lot of even day gamers. They think that I don't know, not actually all of them, but quite a lot would think that girls are different in different areas of the world. But what I learned in these 3 days with Christian House is like, oh, girls are just basically the same, and it's a, it's a no-brainer. It's because where I come from, my culture, it's a really macho culture. It's a really you have to really with girls in Bulgaria. No girl will, yeah, they might, but girls rarely will ask you out on a date or something because let's say in Scandinavia or something, it's usually I found this to be really unique and quite cool that the women ask the men out. You know what I mean? And so growing up with my culture, I basically I had to learn this skill set. Otherwise, I will fuck up. You know what I mean? But it's not always the same. Like girls, I actually lost my virginity to a girl that's more like on the sluttier side, and she just took me in. How do I say? But yeah, what were we talking about? I mean, what am I talking about? About
Hey, it's fine. You can talk about anything that you want. It's just a free-flowing discussion, man.
yeah, man.
But no, it's been amazing. Like honestly, it's a privilege for me to be able to invite you into my life. Because I say to guys all the time, the 3 days or however long we spend together, it's just a start. It's a springboard towards the rest of your life. And hopefully you can now go on from this and supercharge your existence, knowing that you've got everything that you need to create amazing things for yourself. And you're still so young as well. Do you know what I'm saying? You've still got so much time. You're still so early in your journey, but because you've made the decision to invest in yourself as a man early, then you're going to reap the benefits going forward in your life. So by the time you hit 30 and beyond, you're going to be in a dangerously effective place. So yeah, just from me to you, like honestly, thank you for hosting me, showing me around Vienna, giving me a Viennese experience. And yeah, I feel blessed and honored to be able to call you a friend now. So yeah, from me to you, just thank you.
Yeah, thank you for me to you. And yeah, life is great. And I'm sure we have some fun in the future, adventures and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said to you,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna be gallivanting across the globe for the next 6 months. And I say whenever I'm in a city, you're in a city, or I'm in a city that you want to explore, then just let me know. Like for the guys who don't know, like I'm gonna be in Krakow for the entirety of August. I'll be running Renaissance retreats out in Krakow. I've got a few weekends which are available. So if you want to join me out in Krakow and have your own European experience, then you know what to do. Just drop me an email. And it's the final thing that I want to finish with actually is, what was the first video of mine that you watched?
The first video that
Yeah,
I watched from
yeah.
Kristian Kasanova is Daygame doesn't work.
Daygame doesn't work. And after our
Yeah.
weekend together, what would you say
Bullshit.
to
Bullshit.
that? Yeah, I think if there are still any people out there who are like, this doesn't work, this is all fake, then I do feel sorry for you, because you are missing out on one of the most beautiful experiences that I think is available to the modern man. And I think this skill set is only going to become more rare as the world gets even more hyper digitalized and everything is online. And the youth of today don't know how to communicate. But that's just me going on a rant because I like to, and it's my fucking podcast.
Yeah, I love ranting too.
But yeah, man, honestly,
But it's all
thank you.
positive. It's all good.
It is, man.
Yeah.
We're sending optimism to the people.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. I'll be in touch with you anyway when we can. We'll get on our calls, chat about life. I'll give you as much help and support as I can. And yeah, man, I'll speak to you soon.